we're going to get the rematch of the series. But the reason that this is so exciting is because we had that game go so close, so incredibly close. There was never anything more than a 9-6 half in the opening of each of those three maps. And then from that point, when North were victorious, they went on to place Vitality. They got wrecked, kind of kicked back down a notch. Meanwhile, we had the Riders go play versus Fate. They wrecked them and kind of picked themselves back up a notch. So, Wolfie, I think we're right back into the middle ground here, and we just get a glorious rematch to begin the day here on the B stream. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. North on that CT side with a little bit of utility, and don't expect this one to be a fast one. I think these teams are really going to milk each and every round.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're seeing it in the buys early as well. Gade with his full bank of utility, Steel and Alex picking up mollies and smokes to look for this early mid control. Still with a pop flash over the top. This is going to be MSL on the first contact. Multiple players there, but he finds the first headshot onto Lowell and able to fall back safely as this B split over platform looks to come through. But KGB with the backstab, only able to get one as Easter and Mopos with quick trades, 3-on-3. Bomb trying to make its way into the site. Spotted out by MSL, but he can't quite find the shot. So it's going to be onto North to retake.
A grenade from Steel. Nice damage onto all three CTs, but they're going to waste no time moving this one inwards. MSL, headshot onto Easter, and now it's that deep stairs control that Mopaz tries to hang on to. But the CTs, because of their aggression, they get that footing. What they don't get is the kills. AZ up close, looking for the 1v2, with Steel just dancing back and forth. He now has to go extending downwards if he wants this final frag. AZ, he's sticking this. He's sticking it, and it's close. Oh my god, it's close. Right down to the wire. I love that he just tries to call out that deep position. He wants him to chase, but AZ, he wanted the round, and he damn near got it. Damn near got it, Wolfie.
Yeah, that was brave, shall we say, to try and stick that one, knowing the player's down deep in towards the B ramp, just holding and waiting for you to peek. So you can understand the play behind it. Obviously, time running out as well. That peek's never going to go particularly well for you because there's just so many angles on those B stairs that you've got to cover. So nice try, nearly worked out. Instead, it's going to be the half buy coming out. They will be able to get Deagles and armor, a couple of nades onto Gade as well. Problem being, there are 4 MAC-10s here to farm, 4 players without any head armor at all, so it should be a relatively easy cleanup for the Movistar Riders as they do, again, look for this early ramp control. And actually, 4-man A stack coming out from North to try and do some damage.
Deagles, man. I love me some Deagles. And we've had so many second round upsets, so I fear for the MAC-10s. These are really nice angles as well. MSL, he's behind the sandbags, and then you get the 2 players in front who pop, plus the short stack. Oh my, could that have been any better?
It was like poetry in motion. 3 digs, 3 frags. Mopo's going to get his head ripped off by Gade as he tries to explore the options towards B. And Lowell's left in a 1v5. Gade up close and personal will go down early, but immediately AZ there to trade his teammate out. And exactly as you said, another second round upset coming through. The Deagles working out absolutely fantastically for North, and this is where that T-sided economy really starts to become a problem. Do Movistar want to go for that counter force buy, or are they going to look to try and build up their cash? Looks like they're going to try and pull it off with the Deagles as well, but over on the CT side of things, North are going to have even more firepower to work with.
Yeah, we're doing that deadly Deagle dance, huh? God, that setup was so glorious, actually. I mean, like mathematicians, they had every single angle calculated. And obviously, MSL first contact with the cover, that draws the attention, and then whoosh, you've got CT swooping in from all directions. So really nice setup, very effective play, and that's what gets North right back at it. Of course, as we said, Ryder's going to try to deeg themselves, and Mopaz finds the opener. Now, in the last series between these teams, we had AZ with a 1.3 rating and a plus 21 kill-death spread by the end of the series. If we went to the other side, it was Lowell, 1.18, with Alex next to him at 1.16. Those are the 3 stars I think we need to look at again today. If we're going to get a similar series to the last one, then maybe it's those players who deliver. But after that first Eagle, there's been nothing else for Riders. And Gade, he's starting to flank what is this 5-man A setup from the T side.
This flank could be perfectly timed. So much presence, but look at the read again. Lowell gonna find the frag. Christo at least able to trade one back, but with the rifle recovered and Movistar really no need to overcommit. They're gonna head straight back towards this B-bomb site. Lowell with a recovered smoke is gonna cut off an angle. North are gonna be stretched very thin here. 2-man rotation, and actually Movi are going to look to fake it, making their way back up this A ramp, leaving Christu on his own to try and cover all of these angles. Alex, first one to spot him out, and on such desperately low HP, the CT player really can't afford to reaggress. He's going to hit his shot, though, and that's bought time. Second player, MSL, rotating in. Deagle even coming out for Christu as he's finally taken out. And actually, Eastor with another. Cajun B chucked into the 1v2, and that bomb's going to go down for Eastor.
Yeah, Cajun, he gets out close, takes to the high ground, and oh, yeah, you love to see it. Another Deagle headshot to close. So Riders doing what was done to them, giving it right back to North, even despite Christu's best efforts. I believe he had 3 kills in that round. So if these first 3 rounds are indicative of what we're going to get across this series, Wolfie, I am so happy that this is the game that you tuned in to with me, man. This is going to be sick. But North, they've got to just go ahead and take the hit. They've got to just let this one slide by, or at least the odds ever in the favor of Riders here. Full AKs, basically, and tons of utility versus just these USPs. Cajun B single Deagle. If there's anybody to do it, it's got to be this man, and he's posted up on mid, but expect Riders to take this round nice and slow. They realize that, they've got them where they want them. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and they go for that boost up onto the A ramp. Steele's having none of this. He has taken a bit of damage here, doesn't want to extend on his own, but they've really got North where they want them.
Yeah, 2 early picks, a nice wrap coming in towards the A-bomb site as well. They've got these remaining pistols just to thin the numbers. Steele with his 3rd headshot of the round takes out Christu, and this should be done. Alex with 1 more onto Cajun B. And this really is the problem with the Battle of the 4 Spies. If you're the CT side and you don't come out on top, your economy is always absolutely shredded. And we're seeing it again now. MSL is the only player with any real cash as Alex just cleans things up with the last frag of the round. And you look across that CT buy and you look at what they can get. Gade's going to be struggling on utility. Christu's already had to drop down onto a FAMAS to get the nades he wants. And we see Gade doing the same. Whereas over on the Movi side of things, it's a much prettier picture, right? They've got the 3 AKs, the saved M4 and Galil. And you really feel like if North are going to come out on top of this one, it's going to be down to MSL on that AWP to have a big impact.
I recently saw that Pimp had some criticism for MSL and his opping, in that, yes, he can do it, but he doesn't feel as though this roster has that, like, shining op star that so many teams seem to need. Gade and Alex exchanging frags, AZ and Alex also exchanging frags. So Alex being the difference maker here on the A ramp, and the rest of the CT still in position with a health advantage, with some nice pieces of utility to play off of nonetheless. And Riders, they seem stubborn about this A site. They want it, and they'll fight for it. Through the Molotov, before it goes out, they decide to commit. Cajun B, now he gets pushed back, and he's just trying to dodge all these nades. It's just, oh my god, an utter barrage of utility, and he gets one off at the top, 2v2.
He's bought time for the rotation as well. MSL managing to make his way in on that AWP, which we thought needed to be so effective. Had nothing really to do so far over on that B-bomb side, but really being thrown in at the deep end. Good utility for the CT side to try and clear their way through, and with Alex on half HP, this one feels doable. First contact, of course, being taken by the low HP player. Lol there behind him, and for the time being, Cajun B and MSL taking this one slow. Cajun trying to stick it inside his own smoke. Spotted out by Alex, and that's the round done. MSL's going to have to try and save that AWP because there's no money for the CT side. It'll be a 4th on the board, a couple of rifles kept up for Movistar, and a fantastic start, honestly, to the T side for them, right? 4-1 up already. Economy looking pretty flush across the board, and the pressure really on North CT side.
Yeah, definitely. This is starting to run away from it. I'm going to delve back into the dungeons of the previous stats here. Vertigo. How long ago was that, by the way, actually? 24th of June. 4 days ago. Oh my god, time flies. And in that specific map, we had Riders with a 9-6 T-side to start the game. So I feel like we are kind of par for the course for the moment. There's still plenty of time for North to get back into it. Maybe MSL with that single op has something to say here in the 6th round, but he's lost a teammate already, and the Riders, that early B presence, followed up by the nades, nearly enough to take MSL out of this one, but he's still gonna sit stagnant on the B site as the bomb moves to the complete opposite side of the map. Because they're running quickly, all of that audio is being called, and we see the CTs trying to react. Do they pump fake this? Do they decide to go back to B site yet once more? Because they've left an anchor over there in Mopaz. They'll have to be cautious as they're facing the op.
MSL boosted up. It's just going to get taken straight out of the equation. Alex through the smoke will find another. Christu, as soon as he gets the AWP, he's removed, and it just looks like they didn't even need to go towards B. AZ with one, potentially a consolation frag as he looks to hide this AWP in towards spawn. But that's what the B anchor is there for. Mopoz cleaning things up beautifully. A fifth without too much trouble on the board for Mobi. I think if that's a full rifle buy, then potentially they try and sell the full fake, right? They try and call Mopoz and go, okay, you've got the information. There's probably nobody on B. Let's just hit the rotation. But clearly, the Spanish side feeling very, very confident because they just decided they were going to barrel into that bomb site regardless, and it worked out pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I think it's actually just like, you know, a bonus that they've damaged MSL in that B play. It wasn't just taking off one of the pistol players, but he was so easily taken down from that CT shelf peak that easy day in the office, but aggression on the A ramp, easy. He's got himself 3 kills. It costs him near all of his health, but North, they knew exactly what they wanted to start that round. They wanted the ramp fight, and they got it. They come out on top of it. Gade makes a bit of noise as Eastor tries to wrap that bomb back towards B. He gets dinked, and this one's looking good for North. A second. They stop the bleeding pretty quickly, at least with one more round. But the big question will be, is it consecutive rounds? Will they be able to string all of this together? Can they get that strong overhead win with 4 players up? Because there is a world where Eastor can take down AZ or Christu. Make sure they hunt them carefully. Check out this. Eastor, Cajun B right in front of him. So... oh, wait. He doesn't shoot. Oh, and it's going to cost him. Cajun B, out of the peripherals, shuts down Eastor's sneaky attempt.
Well, that's a punishment and a half, and I think, exactly as you said, that's what they needed to cauterize the wound, North. They needed an early aggressive play. They needed somebody to pop off, and, I mean, who better than AZ? I had him written down as that player to watch on North side of things, right? He's been consistently incredible across this series, across everything we've seen from him so far in Summit, and he shows up again. Big triple kill on the ramp. It completely shuts down everything Movistar wanted to try and achieve, and that's why you see them taking the time out, trying to work out what they can do into this one. They will be able to get the buy. There's enough cash to drop the rifles around. Alex even potentially toying with the possibility of pulling an AWP out here. I'm not a fan of them. I don't know about you, Scrawny, but T-side on Vertigo, I don't feel like the AWPs do as much damage as they cost.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think that, you know, it depends on where we're picking, right? It's hard to pick in mid anymore. I feel like we used to get op duels towards like window or so, but that's been changed. And so the only time I feel like you get the consistent sniper fights is if you want to go towards A ramp. And that back shelf as a CT, I much prefer being that guy than trying to be the terrorist who holds back those aggressive angles. So I mirror your sentiment. And Riders are going to mirror the previous round. They go right up into that same A ramp. They were so ready to fight. This was like Big Brother just, you know, running out of the front door because Little Brother just got beat up last round. But then the bully's gone. The bully's just retreated into the depths of his spawn. 2 CTs on this back shelf. Christu actually boosting MSL, giving him an advantage over Smoke, and it's perfect. He snipes down Steel, slaps back bomb. Cajun B with a second, and this one not looking good for the Riders. Mopoz, he'll have a chance to claw this back as the smokes begin to fade, but Cajun's having none of this. It went from a complete A ramp shutdown to this booby trap of a backside hold. Oh my, was that ever clean.
Yeah, North living rent-free in the minds of Movistar Riders there. They called their bluff, right? They completely fell off their A-ramp control after the previous round where they commit heavy. So you see the T side of things, they're throwing so many nades, right, to get that early control. There's flashes, there's smokes, there's Molotovs to make absolutely sure they don't get shut down like in the previous. But all it means is they get a free portion of the map and waste a ton of utility on the way in. And now they're down onto that half buy again. 4 Deegs, 1 Tech 9, I thought it was a CZ, but we're not in that meta anymore. And a couple of flashes and smokes to try and make something of it. Again, we see these half buys tend to go towards mid and then look for the platform split if it's an option, but they're going to have to fall off at least for the time being. The utility keeping them wary as Mopoz trying to anchor it down, being shoulder peeked out by Gade and not quite connecting his shots just yet. Is looking for the sneaky play though, starting to make his way up this ramp. MSL posted up on the angle, an easy pick to open things up, and already starting to thin the numbers as the remainder of Movistar Riders are going to try and make something happen over on B.
There's one. And Gade's just shuffling his feet here. He's going to go down and give himself some temporary angles. Smoke forces Eastor to try and find a way around it, but you walk around that corner, I promise you, Eastor, you'll die. Not a threat. It's just a God-honest promise. He's going to get mollied out. Oh, no, now it's not on his own accord. No, okay. Drops a little bit of utility, but that was the final bit of utility. You can, I'm sure, imagine where that smoke goes down on bomb site and maybe he plants within it. These 3Ts, they're just looking for a little bit of cash, a little bit of extra bonus to walk away with in this round. Alex, he will land the deagle shot, but he's getting aggressed. Gade looking for it, and it's MSL over the shoulder to drop another body there. So nice 3-piece by Gade, staying alive. He had more kills than he had health left over, and it's an easy rebuy for North. So that initial 5-1 lead, look how quickly it's evaporated, Wolfie.
Yeah, and I think if Movistar want to repeat their antics from previous and try and get that 9-6 half that you talked about, it's got to start now. They picked up the AWP again onto Eastor. They picked up full AK-47s. Again, a little slim on the nades, but I suspect we'll see some fast aggression off the back of it as they are going to look for the ramp control. And this time, there will be a contest. It's going to be MSL making his way down behind the tarpaul to take the early peek and try and take some of that early map control away. Christu there to back him up on the angle. Movistar taking this one nice and slow. Pop flashes give them the angle. MSL isolated will go down. Alex with the second as well. And this A bomb site completely open for business. Steel holding W and left click. Gonna find himself another. Cajun B goes down. Crazy and Gade. This is not how this round was meant to go. Trying to rotate in. Desperately making something of it as AZ gets the first. There's so much more presence, and again, the Spanish side, there's no reason to overcommit here. They're 4-on-2, they've spotted one player out, the nades have brought him down to 21, and they've still got a lurker over towards B.
I really like this disengagement from Riders, because they don't go all the way back in the sense that Mopaz is still hung up on this very important short angle, and yes, they will move some pieces back the other direction, just because they've got so many options open. Lowell, full entire B bomb site is his for the taking. So that's a clear call. Get that bomb back over here. Which direction does it take? We've actually got Mopaz over on the A site hitting a headshot versus AZ. So he's keeping these CTs occupied and a shadow advantage. Oh, knifed in the back. Surgical execution on the spinal tap. It's Riders with a 6th.
And that's what you like to see. A little bit of BM at the end of it with the knife kill. Just get inside their heads and give yourselves an opportunity to keep building that momentum, because it got a little bit slow at one point, right? 5-1, few rounds come up on the board for North. It feels like their CT side is finally starting to get some legs. And then the response comes in. A straight A take, the late lurk from Mopaz, even with the knife kill, just to really rub salt in those wounds. And now we're going to see a much more passive start. Just Steel looking for the ramp control early, trying to provide some kind of contest, but there's 3 CT players on the other side of this tarpaul and just waiting for him to aggress. And actually, he's going to sit inside that smoke. Might be able to catch himself a timing here as Christu and AZ, they're going to look to push right on by. And if he can just turn around, that's 2 free kills. His teammate going down gives him the information. The double spray down from Steel is absolutely perfect. He loses his teammate in the process, but still, the man advantage for the Movistar Riders as they look to make this round happen.
Christu, when he was walking down that ramp, was keeping a set of eyes on that smoke. He was so nervous that that was a possibility, but obviously the gunfight unfolded in front of him. So call to action meant Steel was primed for that one. Good trade, good setup, but it's not like it comes at a total surprise, I don't think. There was that voice in the back of Christu's head. And unfortunately for North, it wasn't enough to keep full focus on it. So Riders, they rotate over towards the B site. Again, it's open for the taking. Just like last round, it's a good mid-round B rotate off of a big play from Riders that gets them exactly what they need, the bomb plant to confirm it. And if that bomb gets planted, I don't think MSL is going to walk away from this position. It's going to prime Steel to constantly go over for a flank. So I can already see a world where this post plant looks good. And let's say they don't leave. Let's say they just try to go right into the save. Well, Steel, oh, he had a chance, but MSL just barrel stuffs him, and the 2 other CTs here looking to save all their guns. So Riders still doing a great job on this T side, adding up the rounds, and it's not looking rushed. That's what I really like, Wolfie. It's not rushed, it's not flustered. In those mid-round moments where they feel like they've got North in a weakened position, they absolutely rock bomb back to take control of the map, and It's just clean round wins. But CT's going to save with 3 weapons here in the 11th, and Riders a 3-round lead.
Yeah, just doing those simple things right. And I think that's the key to a T-side on Vertigo, is not being afraid to just say, okay, let's disengage off the back of this opening pick, or let's disengage off this man advantage, because CTs have got to be so quick on the rotations because they're perfectly aware that Wall of Smoke's out on A. That's a free bomb plant. It's a free after plant situation as well. So you've got to be so conscious of that, and if a T-side can exploit that sort of voice in the back of their head going, okay, we need to commit heavy here in case they barrel into A, and just slow it right down, loop back around, as we've seen Movistar doing, leave one player there to lurk and just keep the CTs honest, and then just send the rest over towards B. Get a free bomb site, free bomb plant. We've seen it a couple of times now for the T-side, and I think North this timeout is going to be them trying to work out how on earth they're going to stop it.
At least they've got the tools to do so. You know, that's the one thing I will say. Outside of the first 3 rounds where we got that awesome fireworks show between the Deagle force buys, we've actually had money, basically, on all of these rounds. Yeah. The ecos have been far and few between, and I can get behind that. You know, this is meant to be a close series. These are meant to be 3 close maps, and so I want the closest rounds possible. For now, of course, Riders and both North. You know, as much as I'm going to big it up for our viewing experience, these teams would rather the economies crumble and the easy rounds rack up. But we're not having any of that just yet. We hold, and we wait for what could be another A play. Gade with early eyes down B, sees no feet. Mopaw's deep angle down there. Very much just getting comfortable in the dungeons. AZ, he's going for some wall spams, and ooh, nice one. Actually tags up E-Store ever so slightly. That's a bit of a warning. Come at this A site, you're going to get wrecked. North sitting back with MSL again on that on the shelf. AZ takes to the top of the orange boxes. Dangerous position.
Nade felt like it should have got a lot more damage as well as Mobbies start to plan out their execute. 2 players making their way down through the rat run, looking to take that control as they push out onto the bomb site. Again, we see MSL boosted over the top of these smokes to try and give himself an angle to work with. Again, we see this pressure just relentless onto the A bomb site, and this is the problem. That is an angle and a half from Mopos to take MSL out of the equation. The bomb goes down, the nades just a split second too late, and the damage through the smoke is significant onto Christu as well. He goes down to just 13 HP as he looks to play towards that self-boost, and already a man down North trying to make this retake stick as they start to push in. First molly is going to force out the sandbags player, but this close aggression could be everything. Fully blind, Lol traded 1-for-1, and a second from Steel. A quick headshot onto Christu should mean this one's feeling impossible. AZ and Gade to try and stick it down the smoke. Gives AZ a bit of room to maneuver, and he will find 2 before he's taken out. Gade on the trade has bought his team a lifeline, taps that bomb, and baits the shot out of Mopos. He plays the timings, and this one's going to be right down to the wire, but I think he has absolutely nailed that clutch. North will have their 5th round, and what a way to get it.
Yeah, dope. I'm all for that. We've seen Gade and AZ in a similar 2vX situation on those retakes, but this time it's the individual levels of AZ that really gets it. And damn, man, let's take a second to appreciate AZ. This is another showing, another strong showing versus the same opponents, and that's a promise. You know, AZ, he was a Danish star, and while we have had North struggle as of late, it's quite wild to me to think, right? Riders versus North. Wolfie, this isn't even flagged on HLTV as a 1-star matchup. Like, that's, damn, that kind of shocks me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I was looking for it yesterday. I had the filters on, and I couldn't see it. And I'm like, wait, do we only have 1 best of 3? Are we starting at noon instead of 9? But no, I had to really dig deep. I had to unravel the layers of the stats to get there. And it's nice to see that some of the individuals may shine like stars despite these teams not necessarily hitting the peaks that they'd like to. So again, we take a moment to look over towards Riders. I'm expecting Lowell to come online at some point in this series, but for the time being, AZ is doing what Lowell can. That repeat performance in this specific matchup. And you know what? Riders, they have never actually bested North in a series. In fact, it's very lopsided. I feel like the last series with that Vertigo win was the only map they have over top of North.
Yeah.
but there's a player on short. Don't forget it for a moment. Alex, he could swing out wide whenever he chooses to.
MSL playing with fire here. This timing is going to be absolutely everything, because as you said, Alex has lied in wait for so long now. I don't think the CT side are even considering it a possibility. MSL hard scoped down the ramp in towards the box, and again, Movistar, they're not afraid to just sit off these angles early. No aggression, no opening peeks beside that player who's pushed up in towards the catwalk, and potentially an opportunity for him now as you see him starting to make his way around on that minimap, starting to take small portions of map control away from the CT side, and actually, he's managed to get all the way up. He has looped all the way around. Is he on A already? I'm looking at that minimap, and it looks like he is. It looks like he's all the way through this bomb site. No way. Surely not, he is. He's got the lineup onto Christu. The trigger discipline as he gets the first. MSL has no idea what's happened. AZ will be able to clean things up 1-for-1 early, but there's so much more where that came from, and the pressure's really on. Eastor and Steel with a frag apiece. This A bomb site looking vulnerable again in the 4-on-2, and this time Gade's only got Cage and Bisa for support. No AZ to try and make it happen as he takes the early dink, and Mopos, well, he's already flanking out for his first. This is done. It's going to be an 8th on the board, and what a play from Alex.
Yeah, props to Alex. He knew he had that early footing. He sussed out the situation, sniffed around the A bomb site. He sees Christu staring at the sky like some kind of turkey. And just the one-tap execution from the back of the site. What I really like is he gets that forward footing as well. You know, he tucks into the CT spawn before he takes the shot, and could have caught more players off guard. AZ immediately refrags him, so he can't actually start, you know, tearing out the wires and smashing the keyboards in the back line. But it's just such a hectic moment, right? You have to go through your emergency procedure for North so quickly that you start to create these pockets of opportunity for riders, and they absolutely capitalize on them. So very cool round from Alex, and here we are back into the pistol rounds. I said we had avoided it for the most part, but we'll find ourselves once again here with just some upgraded deagles. Luckily, there's utility with them, and there is an MP9 on MSL, but the flashbang connects to his eyes, and Steel, be cautious, my friend. He is throwing too much utility to handle the push, and it's a 5v4 for North, regardless of the buy.
Forced Movistar Riders to change the play up as well. All 4 players rotating towards B and mid early to try and take some map control, but CT side, really nice read of the situation, have already started to move their forces around. MSL in towards middle with that AK-47, looking to cause some havoc as he gets a little bit of aggression of his own. And actually, look at this again, not afraid to just reset the play. We're going to see the Spanish side making their way back towards that A ramp. AZ really acting as the early warning system here for North, has spotted them out, fallen back towards the bomb site, and is very rapidly calling for the rotation. Starting to hear these footsteps. He's got a second deagle there with him. MSL not too far away. But it's going to be all on the timings now. Still 3 AKs and an AWP for Movistar to try and make this take stick, and just 2 deagles on the bomb site for North.
Ooh, a little bit of smoke damage. Ooh, but he goes right back into it. MSL, he is creeping up the ramp. He is on the back line. Christu, he may be holding it down, but with 4 seconds left, there's no bomb plant. It's North with the force buy win. 1 MP9 is what MSL starts the round with. That early AK upgrade works wonders for him, and that's the kickstart for North to possibly take this 7th round. They could improve on the last showing, and it was looking like a 10-5 to me. I thought Riders were going to have that little bit of an edge, but the force buy works out. All the AK upgrades for free. 3 Kalashnikovs for North, thanks to the investment of Riders. And now it's Riders who are going to have to show us what they can do with a force of their own. Deagle, Mac-10, Galil, and 2 AKs. We saw the Deagle Force Wars at the very start of this half, and we're going to finish there as well. Alex, fully blinded, didn't see a damn thing, and he sprays into AZ. CT's trying to put that emergency procedure back into the process. They've got that short control on Christu. He's smoked off for the moment, and Mopaw's right on the other side.
This is going to be a question of timings. If he goes through and Christu's looking the wrong way, it's a free frag for Movistar Riders. Instead, he's going to wait a little while longer. MSL posted up close on that AWP as well, looking to peer down the ramp as the nades come over the top, and potentially going to be the first line of defense for this CT side. Flashbang to try and take this control back, and it's going to be Christu and MSL with 2 quick frags. AZ going go down in the trades, but Cajun B there to back him up, and this is not feeling good at all. Eastor left 1v3. That bomb stranded in the middle of the A bomb site. Really not a lot he can do whatsoever. He does at least have that AK-47, but the firepower and utility very much favoring the TT side here, as he looks to pull off the impossible. Bomb within his reach now as he starts to creep on up, but there's so many angles left to clear. Cajun B going to be his first real issue. Christu looking for the backstab shortly thereafter. And this is his timing. Cajun B, one tap to the skull, 8-7. And as you said, North, they get an improvement.
Yeah, there we go. That's fun. But I think it's still indicative of what we're going to get all series long, which is close halves, close maps. There's no reason to believe we shouldn't. If I rattle off the scores of the last series, it was the 16-11 Inferno for North, 16-14 on Vertigo for Riders, and a 16-13 on Overpass for North. So constantly 27 rounds or more. Very much getting into the late game. And that's what I like, you know? We're running out of Counter-Strike before the player break begins. And so I'm going to soak it all up while we can, man.
Yeah, tell me about it. I just couldn't wait to get some more casting done as soon as this came up. I was like, yes, let me do something before the player break starts. And
yeah, give me.
We've really got a treat in terms of the games we've been given, right? I mean, this one already feels like it's going down to the wire, and we've still got 2 more maps potentially to separate these 2 teams.
Sure, man, for sure. Oh, Wolfie, this is the first day that we've ever worked together. It's the first time we've ever actually had a conversation. So, you know, here on the CS Summit stream, we get to sit back and relax a little bit, my man. How'd you get into Counter-Strike?
This is going to be one of the funny stories that I always pull out when people ask these questions, but basically I started casting CS because my internet wasn't good enough to play it and stream it. My upload was so bad that if I had the stream on and played simultaneously, then it just wouldn't run and it would just lag out. So I started commentating instead. And then the hobby spiraled out of control to a slightly insane extent.
That's a bit of an addiction, huh? Casting Counter-Strike?
Oh, yeah. It's got to the point now where if I don't cast a game in a week, I'm like itching at the seams just to get something done, and it's not good, man. It's not good.
I can see you, man, withdrawal, scratching the beard. Oh, man, I need a pistol round, man. I need a clutch, man. Yeah, I feel you there, dude. So... listen, I'm happy to be working with you today. I'm glad they brought you in. Well, listen, we got all day to hang out and learn about one another. So isn't that the beauty of Counter-Strike? Making friends, having good times. And as this second pistol goes live, we have to wonder who's going to have the better time of it. First pistol round, of course, picked up by the Riders. And then, of course, North with that Deagle force buy brought it back. So let's see. We've got utility on MSL and Cajun B. We've got 4 Ts heading quickly towards B. And MSL, oh my God, he's lost teammates already. Steal with the 2-tap. Ooh, the 3rd through the... Explain that.
That's one of those really unfortunate moments for North where you've just got to sit back and go, well, we've just been shredded. It's Cajun B to try and pick up the pieces, but he was 1v4. He's able to find at least an opening pick, still 1v3, and I feel like as long as Steel is still alive and in this server, it's the round of the Riders, because man, oh man, that B ramp hold was quite something. Cajun B is going to try and make the rotation back, being very cautious for the flanks as well, because that's just such a common thing on Vertigo, is just the backstabs constantly coming through as he slowly starts to clear his way all the way back where he started in towards T spawn now. He's going to look for some mid control. Potentially, there's a world where this is possible, isolating those 1v1s, giving himself a little bit of opportunity, but at the moment, Movistar Riders are giving him absolutely nothing. No peeks at all. They have rotated Alex over into CT, Eastor on the A bomb site, and Cajun B. This is going to be all on the timings. He walks right into the crosshair. Alex cleans it up, and man, that B site hold was quite something.
Yeah, good job, Steel. Hell of a pistol kill. He may still have the absolute worst crosshair in the server at the moment, but he seems to be making it work. Pythian Legume, please get us on this bad boy. Look at this thing, man. It's dynamic. Do you have player crosshairs enabled, Wolfie?
Oh no. Oh no.
No?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Ah,
it.
nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I've been so intrigued by it lately. That's why I've got it on. And oh my goodness, Steel. I'm sure there's players trolling, but I don't know about this one. They go for the run boost. We'll give them props for that. They pull it off. They send a man into the atmosphere, and he lands back on his feet, only to die to the firepower. So yep, that one's all wrapped up real quick. It was just Glocks, of course, so I appreciate that North gave us something to talk about. The run boost is the most exciting thing about that attempt, and it gets them fast-forwarded right into the AKs.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where you may as well not even bother looking at it. It's done before it even started. The run boost was a nice little thing to try out. Potentially could have caught someone off guard, but they got absolutely picked out of the sky, and now really need to start finding some success. Have got those full AKs as Movistar Riders go for a little bit of a bonus round here. 2 FAMAS, the 2 MP9s being kept up, and the aggression going to come through, punished by MSL. As Mopoz looks to recover, Nade tickles away at the feet of the North player, just bringing him down to 54 though. With that man advantage, again we see the T-sides looking for this disengage, right? Just immediately resetting, no need to over-aggress. With just one player now holding for that ramp aggression, they start to loop the bomb back around towards mid.
Still tucked on the bomb site. Bomb working its way through middle. But lies in wait for them. Not too much. B site completely open. Just that 4-man stack up on A. Trying to find something here. I think that the spam is indicative of the play. They get aggressive. They want to force the information to be gathered. Think of the way that Riders were able to head to the B bomb site because the CTs in North used to just stack on site and wait. I like that Riders get a little bit more ambitious than that. They want to give themselves a chance at a retake, so they cut down the man early, and that puts this in position. They're able to cheat over towards the B site a little bit quicker than if they had to respond to the bomb plant itself. And Lowell, he gets flashed right through that smoke. So the MP9 pays off. MSL and AZ, 2 versus 4. CTs flooding across the floor. But MSL with 16 health is going to have to clutch this. Steel, he is pinned into position, trying to get all of that attention turned towards him. And MSL has 3 frags, looking for the 4th. Such little HP on both these players. MSL swings wide.
He could not have played that better. Quad kill in the round, down to just 8 HP as he gets the last. The Molotov even forcing his hand. It does not matter. North will have their 8th round. They play the B-bomb site to perfection, and they've really bought themselves a lifeline here. If that round went south, it felt like the CT side could just start to run away with it a little bit. As it is, Movistar are going to be forced onto the buy. There's not going to be a lot of utility. There's going to be an MP9 for Mopoz, so sacrifice is being made. I think off the back of that, we're going to see some aggression. They're going to know they need to try and find the opening picks. They're going to send 2 players in towards that A ramp early. Alex spamming through the MP9 to back him up as MSL spotted, but is it too many? AZ trades 1 for 1, and that MP9 actually able to find the ding, getting spammed through the tarpaulin, but gets away with it. Man advantage wrestled the way of the CT side. And now North, what kind of a recovery have you got for us?
They're trying to creep in closer. Easter, oh, just completely slaps AZ back. So, two players left for North. Mopoz puts that front smoke down. Bomb's going to try to play around the side of it. Cajun B has vision, but another excellent flash. We saw a flashbang just pop perfectly on that B site retake attempt last round, and this one hits the mark again. Christu, it's him in the 1v4. Galil versus full-fledged rifles. He cuts down, oh, all three of the players on the A site. He just primed it perfectly, calls out that short peek, and now all of the pressure's on Lowell. Riders with their hands on their mouths, watching in anticipation to see if what was their top fragger last series can close this clutch. Christu's got that bomb plant. He is right on top, and he gets the 1v4.
I am utterly speechless, Scrawny. That was ridiculous. The Galil of all weapons to make it happen, and it was just felt like the CT side were feeding him 1v1s. Every peek he took, there was just a single player lying in his crosshair. Eastor missing the AWP shot for the 3rd. Sure feels unfortunate, but it's hard reset the CT economy as well. Just the one Deagle being brought into this one. And as much as it felt like the CTs could start to run away with it, this round, this reset, is giving North a lifeline. They're going to go for some early mid control, a lot more passive towards the A ramp on this occasion. As Movistar, they're going to try and pull off some aggression. No point playing your default when it is just the pistols, and Christu, he's going to call it out. Alex able to get a second, in fact, on the USP, so at least some damage done. And he manages to scavenge himself an AK-47. That's removed swiftly by AZ, and Mopos will just be looking for any kind of damage he can get onto North at this point. It should, and most likely will be, a 10th round on the board, drawing things level, and this one is going down to the wire.
Yeah, I want to just take a moment so that everybody can appreciate what has gotten us to this tied 10-10 scoreline. The 1v1 for MSL on that B bomb site in the post plant, which was actually a 2v4 in total. And then, of course, the 1 versus 4 a round later from Christu. So if it's not for those miraculous clutch situations with one player surviving in back-to-back rounds, then we've actually got Riders at 12, North down on 7, Economy to the CT side. So 3 rounds in a row for North made by those miraculous individual plays. And that bodes very well for them. Those are the kinds of rounds you want early in your half. You know, it's just like the Force Wars we had at the start of this very first map. It decides who gets momentum. It decides who strings those rounds together. And of course, Riders, they still have enough money to rebuy. So they're going to have the weapons they could hope for. However, what they don't have is the lead anymore. They worked so hard to get that at the end of the first half, and it's just been such a close affair back and forth. But if North can stabilize and no longer rely on these big clutch moments, this is keeping them in the game. It's keeping their system alive long enough for them to just win the straightforward rounds. Or will we just keep getting these ridiculous clutch situations? It's a 4 versus 4 at a minute 30, and Gade's looking to round the side of the construction. Oh, Eastor, he is right there. And his teammate in Mopaz has cut off AZ, so he doubles back from short. Now there's 2 CTs ahead of Gade, and he is the only terrorist left here, so he definitely doesn't want to die.
Yeah, desperately trying to fall back, make sure he doesn't go down in this situation. Buying time for his teammates, who are looking to explore their options over towards B. Just lull here for the time being, as again, heavy CT rotation gives North a little bit of room to work with. Mopos, though, deals with that A flank. Gade is gone, and that's allowed Lol to get aggressive. Christu reads it beautifully for 1, and 3 on 2. They should at least be able to get this bomb down by themselves, that after plant, as Christu, he's pushed up to first generators already, taking map control away. And look at the read again. Cajun B so aware of that flank back through the B bomb site. North in a fantastic position here, but they've got to hit their shots. Cajun falls off at potentially the worst possible time. Gives Mopos that early control. Eastor's going to be dealt with, though. And now this retake becomes very one-dimensional. Both players making their way up the ramp. Cajun B spots both and deals with the first. Steel left in the 1v2. The double peek comes in, and North have themselves the lead, playing that round to absolute perfection on B.
Another 2 versus 4, I think, or 2v3 at least. So again, this is North just hanging on to these hectic moments despite the disadvantage. Once they're in the bomb plant, they seem all right to rock and roll. And the reward for that 11th round should be a 12. Now the Riders' economy, it betrays them. They're coming in with just the Deagles. We've seen them win force rounds before, but when they can't even close out some of these clutch situations, I'm not sure about this. It seems to me like North are really stabilizing in this T side. You know, I figured Riders, they look like they could have given us an improvement in their own T half. North switching sides, showing a completely different face, just doing it dirty when it gets into the nitty gritty. And that bodes very well for them. So let's see if they can get themselves another post plant where they seem to thrive. And that last round, Mopaz, he gave us a big multi-frag, but it still just wasn't enough. Kills exchanged here on the B bomb site. Plant's going to come in easily, and now all of a sudden these Deagles, they're desperate for anything at all.
Just even a couple more frags at this point would be good. Alex able to get 1 before he goes down in the Molotov. AZ will get the trade through the flames, though, and with him aggressive on the angle, who else would you want? The ace in the eco round for the Movistar Riders goes the way of AZ. 22 frags to his name, and he is really showing up in this server today. 12-10, and as you said, Movi, they get the bite this time, but it is starting to get close. North 4 rounds away from pulling it off, and this was the only map Movistar could take off of them, right? In the last 9 times these teams have faced, that was it. It was on the 24th, it was here at Summit, and it was Vertigo. So you feel like if Movistar can't do this, their life is going to become infinitely more difficult.
Yep, I think that's a very valid point. Very valid point indeed. MSL is going to get naded down to 65. So a bit of a turn of attention here from North to the A site early. Cajun B picks that bomb back up. Riders, they're going to be a bit more reserved, I may think, at the A site, but that doesn't stop Steel from going on the B flank. Oh, that was dangerously close. Yes, he had a teammate to support him in case there had to be a trade, but he was backing up as the T rounds the corner. Now, they know exactly what's going on here. North, all they have is this A bomb site. There's a chance there's a mid lurk, so Alex had to double back and just check that for a moment, but it's not the case. North, they are entirely on this A site. Oh, it's a 2 versus 5, and there's no way Cajun wins this. So we've got Riders with a little bit of life in them, and they do it with 4 players up. Just this kind of stale A take. It wasn't hyper aggressive. It wasn't a late mid-round moment in some kind of 3vx. No. They just slowly walked up that ramp, Wolfie. They didn't get any early gunfights. They lost their B flank, and they were forced to move forward, which played off very well for Riders. So a solid CT hold, and the first round for Riders in the last 6.
Yeah, it's almost as if as soon as they lost that B flank, as soon as Christu went down, they wanted to full send it into that A bomb site, right? They had no idea what was going on behind them. They knew they had to get a shift on, but there was so much CT presence, there was so much CT utility that they just couldn't clear their path. They couldn't get onto the bomb site and get that bomb down. I feel like if they got the plant, then they had an opportunity, right? You're playing off that bomb, you can start to play the time as your friend rather than your enemy, but instead, it's just a complete lockout from Movi over on that A-bomb site. They get themselves their 11th. As you said, they keep 4 players up, and it really gives them that leg up that they needed. It started to feel like it was getting away from them, but quite frankly, every time that's happened on this map so far, the opposition have managed to drag it back. It happens again here. The lead narrows to 1. The fast A-ramp take wants to come through this time for North, and they've got 2 players already pushing up aggressively.
Want to take this fight? They have a feeling that it's just outside it. This is a difference. Christu, think about last round. We had that player die inside the lower connector. Oh, Gade. He lines it up through the wall bang. And I mean, Mopos, he was engaging in that. You can see the damage here versus AZ, MSL, and Gade. I believe all of which comes by way of spam. So they knew what they were getting into. You can't play with fire and not expect to get burnt. They're now going to wrap around construction into the B site, which is completely clear. This is a perfect call. Perfect call. The timing works out wonderfully. And just as Lowell has that inkling in the back of his head that maybe he's given up too much, he realizes he has given up everything. A 13th round for North. There's no way Riders can even justify going for the retake. If they're going to make this comeback happen now that they trail by 2, they need all the money they can keep. And Gade's looking to take it away, but still he sees his feet.
Lovely read to at least find that 1 frag, and it gives them a little bubble of safety as well where they can look to save these 3 rifles because they are going to be absolutely essential now. A 13th on the board, and for a CT side, if you only win isolated rounds, if you can only take the occasional one away, your economy is just absolutely shredded. We're seeing it here with this 3-man save. They've given themselves something to work around, but North, they're really accelerating, and their T side, they seem to have fantastic reads on pretty much everything Movistar are looking to do, right? That's the 2nd or 3rd time they've gone into the B bomb site, and it's been completely empty. There's been absolutely no CT presence, and Movi, well, they realized it a little too late. Lol tries to desperately make the rotation around, but there's already 3 players on site. There's 3 players watching for that very rotation. A 13th on the board for North, and I think we're really starting to see the consequences of playing these same 3 maps over and over and over again, because in the last 9 meets, North and Movistar, they've played the same 3 maps. It's been Vertigo, Inferno, and Overpass. And at the moment, it looks like North have just finally worked it out.
It's nice, eh, seeing the changes. I mean, because here's the beauty of that stat, right? Nice stat, by the way. I'm going to say, Wolfie, I'm impressed with your preparation, dude. The fact that the map has changed throughout the series. Yes, we are on the same 3 maps, but the maps aren't identical. So that last round, that mid-round moment where, you know, they're engaging in the wall bang damage, and they stuck around for that for quite some time. Obviously long enough for Gade to pick up the headshot. They had cheated their players back through mid, up the ladder, through mid to construction. And the timing there, like imagine where Lowell is still standing just at the base of construction, or if he's actually inside of the B bomb site. He forces them to come at him, but he retreated into them, and they were on high alert because they realized that they had gotten away with more control than they should have, and that there should have been somebody there. And Mopaz, he knows there's more people here. He decides to get aggressive on short, and it's a glorious 2.5 kills for Mopaz. A rapid engagement unfolds here in the 25th round. Riders waste no time, and Christu, nice movement. He's going to actually jump around the Molotov. This gives him some timing on the B site, and he's going to pressure Lowell up close on green. We've seen Christu in crucial mid-round moments. He cuts this back to the 2 versus 2, and it's him alongside Cajun. We got the 1v4 from Christu. We got the 2v4 from MSL and co. And now it's Cajun B in the clutch as well. This is the man you want for the job. Alex, he creeps around the box. He gets Cajun in the open. He does the damage he needs, but he doesn't find the frag. And Riders, it looks like they want to save the op. They have to walk away from this. Again, it is North with a mid-round moment that shines brighter than the aggression of Riders at the very start of these rounds. Cajun and Christu are barely alive, but that's just enough for 14.
I think even if Eastor has a rifle, he probably goes for that. It's just the fact that he's stuck on the AWP, right? There's nothing there for him to work with, and with both players tagged desperately low, a rifle transfer would have done it. Instead, he's got to fall back. He's got to save that AWP and give his team something to buy around, because at the moment, this is starting to spiral out of control. North just 2 rounds away, and really with an opportunity to confirm it here. Their T side has gone from strength to strength, and with a full buy to try and finish the job. I mean, if they can keep clutching out like this, it's going to be an easy win for them.
This is one of those CT sides that Riders are going to go back and look at and just beat themselves up over, because they're not doing anything wrong by terms of textbook. You know, they're writing down all the right answers, but I feel like the questions keep changing in the mid-round moments, and North just hits him with a doozy, one after another. Steele, nice position here, but he's fully committed. There is no way he gets out of that. So good thing that he gets the double kill, because he lost his teammate for free. It's a 3v3, and B, the target for North.
Nice shot from Eastor to get the first, though, and he's still locking this cross out. It's buying time again for the rotations. Molotov goes deep and gives Alex a little more to work with, as he is ever so conscious that mid control could well have been given up. Leaves Eastor alone on this bomb site 2v1. A lot more required of the AWPer as he's spotted out towards the back of the bomb site. Dink through the box is not enough, as Gade again brings it into the 2-on-2 for North. Looking to dial that bomb in. Aware of the close presence of Alex, wants to take the fight, but has gone down to 16 HP. And now they've got to be conscious of this flank as well, North. There are so many angles for them to cover, and without the bomb down, this one feels like it's starting to become impossible. Gade on low HP, he's cleaned up. Cajun last alive, 2v1 on the bomb site. He taps away at the first, but Alex bails his teammate out. I think we both saw that one happening there for Cajun B, but he's taken down at the last moment.
Yeah, good thing they pummeled him as quick as they could. Terrorist timeout coming out from North. That's their final timeout. If we go to overtime, they get no more. So they're going to want to stop the bleeding. They still have the money, of course, to come into the buy. So this is one of those moments where you're not taking a pause once things have gone too far. You're taking a pause before that happens. And that's a great idea. But this feels to me like one of the first rounds where Riders actually come out on top of the 2v2s, the 3v3s, or even the 4v2s. Hell, even the 4v1s.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate for them on the CT side that North have just been able to pull out so many insane clutches, but I think it really is a credit to Movi that they've managed to stay in it, right? They're only 2 rounds behind. Sure. They pull off the 1v1 there, and I think that takes a lot of mental fortitude to reset after some of those clutches, because, I mean, I'm just going to go back to that 4v1 again for Christu. That has got to be gut-wrenching on your CT side, right? You've just got to be thinking, how on earth have we lost this? So to pick themselves up, bring it to just a 2-round gap. The T-side economy, not great either. Christu this time on an MP7. It really is a credit to Movi. Now they need to try and find this one, though. They need a 13th to keep that pressure on the T side, and this early peek's going to work out beautifully. MSL over the top of the boxes, catches the aggression onto Alex, and already a man down. That pressure is just going to keep on mounting on the CT side of the Movistar Riders.
That's curious to me. Look, we got eStore here on the A site now trying to deal with like the mid-ramp moment, but we talked about the terrorists and buying ops on this T side of Vertigo, and we said that, you know, other than ramp, it's not very fun as a sniper to try and find those picks. It's very curious to me that MSL, he posts up with that op, and the player that walks into his crosshair, the player who takes that deep engagement, isn't the sniper. It's not eStore, but one of his teammates in Alex. So if that was a sniper versus sniper engagement, I can't help but feel like Riders have a better chance of picking up this 5v4. Instead, they're going to have to claw it back with a man disadvantage. Mopaz, he's close in the corner, and they clear him out well. Where is that Opper? Well, he's moved. He shuffled his feet all the way to deep B, and I feel like Riders, they're priming themselves for a save already. They tried to bolster that B defense. They had been conditioned by Riders, North in their mid-round moments, the changing of direction, the changing of the guard that had happened so often. It doesn't happen here in the 27th round, and they just left that deep player in Mopaz to try and be like the red flag, the warning sign of an A play. But it's so quickly unfolded that no chance for Riders back in the round. This is a mismanaged rotation that's going to give North a 15th, overtime confirmed, and Riders now just trying to claw their way into that OT here, Wolfie. This is North about to pick up the one map that Riders have ever won.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound too great, does it? And that CT side economy's not looking pretty either. This is starting to feel like North have just got a little bit too much firepower for the Riders at this point. They managed to get into A, and I think, as you said, eStore had to take that opening fight. He had to be on the AWP, getting aggressive, trying to find the pick. Instead, he feeds his riflers to the T side, and then North, well, they just call the bluff of the Spaniards, right? They go, okay, we're going to go full A send. We're going to send all 5 players there. It's unfortunate that Mopaz can't confirm the kill, because if he did, I think that buys enough time. But there's 3 opportunities for North to shut this down now, and this buy is not looking pretty for the CT side as they do call the pause.
To me, in my mind, it's like, it's not that they had to use the op to go down that ramp peak. They didn't need eStore to try and get that opening pick. But if they were going to use Alex to go for a peak like that, what's the harm in having eStore on that back shelf to also peek it? You know, go for the double peek on a different vertical angle. You're basically just giving yourself the ability to trade frag. But he's in the A site, so he's not on the front line of the battle, so he's essentially accomplishing nothing. If it was a straight up A rush and those other CTs had to fall back into him, then okay, that looks great. But if it was a rush, then you didn't need Alex to try and pry down that ramp. So small detail, but a small detail in a round that obviously gives North 3 points of, 3 map points. So it's gone and foregone. We'll let that one die. But if the Riders lose this, that's the smallest of their issues. You know, that moment is not going to sting as badly as the Christu 1v4, the 2v4s, or the 2v2s that have all gone the way of North, essentially. It's just a shame that it happens in a moment where they had that full-fledged buy, where they were probably feeling good, and now they're not feeling great at all. Christu through smoke, headshot into steel. That's how the B site is now in question. But Lowell is on a deep commitment here with the young gun of Christu, 18 years old, and the patience of a 70-year-old man. He's just going to sit on top of this bucket. Lowell, ooh, he's the second casualty to the MP7, but it's the A-hold that works. There is something for Riders in this round, a man advantage, and it's Christu and Cajun to try and work this 2v3, but Christu, he can't get his feet on B. That's what they had hoped for. That's what they have gotten in the past, and this time, it's a flash in the pan as Cajun will try to work this late. 1v3 against 2 ops, and Alex, his closest target.
He can deal with Alex here. There's an opportunity, but it's not going to happen. Over by the first generators, the headshot will come in, and Movistar Riders will buy themselves a lifeline. As soon as I saw Christu getting that first MP7 kill, I thought it was done. I thought that was it. The round was going to deteriorate, but they do a fantastic job this time. It was exactly what you called out in the previous. It was Mopaz close with the FAMAS, eStore up on the back shelf to back him up, and they found 3 frags between them, so the setup works absolutely perfectly, and it gives them the opportunity as now North, they're looking to a half buy of their own. They've got 4 Deagles, they've got a P250, and this is really just about what kind of damage they can get away with. A stack over towards the B bomb site for the T side to potentially catch a couple of players off guard. Steel and Lowell pretty aggressive into this one, and the Deagles, they look to get it done up close and personal. 2-for-1 trade, though, not going to be enough. Lowell in with a double of his own. and this has been dealt with beautifully by the Riders. Last man in MSL, that P250 and a couple of flashbangs, nothing it can really do because they know exactly where he is, and they just want to make sure they don't give any more rifles up to this T side.
Yeah, that works out for Steel because the first couple of players are checking the other corners, and then Lowell swoops in. That's a nice 1-2 combo from Riders. I like it. And obviously MSL, he was on the P250, so he was just shooting Lowell in the kneecaps with the 50, and that's not enough damage to take him down. So it was all calculated. North have calculated this from that fourth and final pause we saw. Now it's the 30th round. This was a 16-14 victory for Riders just 4 days ago on Vertigo, and it's either overtime or North sweep it away with the 2-round difference. It's a full-fledged buy on each side, but North will not have that op that they have used early.
Yeah, are we going to see the mirror image? That's the question. And again, it's going to be early B aggression from the CT side, countered immediately by North, though, as they take the A ramp without very much consequence at all. The nades give them the control they want. The Molotov clears out their sandbags approach, and it's forced Movistar Riders back onto this bomb site early. And this is where North have really made their money at the moment, is just buying these early aggressions and then re-rotating, just falling off, letting Movistar Riders guess the play. And that's going to be what they go for here. Actually sticking around over on A on this occasion, but it has drawn that second player off towards B. You can see Steel in towards first gen. He's on that mini-map, aware that this has been a play North have gone for so many times. Take that early ramp control and then rotate. Instead, this time, it looks like the full send. They dump the nades to buy more time and buy more utility out of the CT hold. But Movistar, they're not biting just yet. A couple of mollies drop, but not too much else. And Alex, aggressive, taken out through the smoke. Could that be the pick? As 5-on-4, North have got a decision to make here. It's a 2-2 split either way for the CT side. And Mopos is desperate to get some information from aggression.
Oh, man. This round hinges on MSL getting a headshot through smoke. And then, not only after he gets that ridiculous kill, but he has the balls to call a walk back to the B bomb site with 20 seconds to spare. All this takes is one CT to go big, and Lowell, no. He moves at the worst possible moment, right before they decide to commit. Now he's fully flashed. He hits the dink, but Christu bests him with the headshot. AK's better than the M4, and that right there is your 30th round for North. They pick up Vertigo, the one map, the one advantage that Riders have ever had over top of North gets robbed away in the closest possible fashion. That absolutely has to sting. If you think of the nature of some of those T rounds, the 1v4 from Christu, the 2v4 from, I believe, Christu and MSL, the 2v2 moments that so consistently went the way of North, that has to leave you in tears, man. Oh, and then the last round, a headshot through the smoke, Wolfie, and a full B rotate, where Lowell, had he waited even 3 or 4 more seconds behind that wooden wall, I think there's a chance where he has more of an attempt at a kill than them running right into him.
Yeah, you couldn't make it up, could you? It's the perfect opportunity, and North take it 16-14. The first map lives up to the hype, and the problem for Movistar Riders is it only gets more difficult from here, right? They're heading over to Inferno. They've done it before on Inferno. They've managed to make it happen, but they lost it 16-11 to North last time these two teams met. So there's going to need to be some pretty significant glow-ups across the board of the Spanish side.
Yeah, I absolutely, man. I'm stoked for this. I thought this was going to be a close, good series, and so far it's delivered. So listen, folks, we're going to go ahead and throw this one to a break, and when we return, it is Inferno between North and the Movistar Riders.